But Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. And until we deal with that, until we deal with the fact that a devout Muslim who doesn't eat bacon was accused of being a crackhead, until we establish the fact that they said that he went to Africa to smoke cocaine when we know they don't have running water and food over there, when they don't have paved roads over there. You saying he flew past Chicago and Miami and LA and New York and Detroit? You saying he went past Cleveland and Fort Pierce, Florida, and he went past Okeechobee and Oakland? You say he went to another country where they're not eating?
Right.
You talking about somebody who has a wife and children, 5 children, and lives on a farm, doesn't live here in Hollywood. You saying you convinced people that person was an insane crackhead? Wow. And he hasn't been on movies and TV for 8 years? Is that correct? Wow. Okay, then don't tell me about what you want to tell me about. I just watched you decapitate the king in front of me. And then act like he's supposed to catch up and be a regular comedian like everybody else. But no.
He didn't go for that.
That's not how it went. He was out there with us for 20 years. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood, and everybody passed on him and said his show wasn't worth it.
What do you think of
Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are going to say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. And my nigga got on the flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so. And 8 years later, he hasn't been in a movie and or television. Is just now trying to do his real comeback at Radio City Music Hall. It bees like that sometimes. So now you can be the fake king or you can be the real king, but heavy is the head. Dave Chappelle has always been funnier than me.
Dave, you ready?
Do I look ready, motherfucker?
How old were you when you made your first TV development deal?
19. My mother and my grandmother were freaked out. You know, I was the first person in my family not to go to college that had not been a slave.
Right.
So I was really breaking from tradition, and it was like a graduation lunch we were having, and they had my dad come and talk to me, and my dad takes me outside, and he's like, listen, and this is some advice that applies to all you acting students. He says, to be an actor is a lonely life. Everybody wants to make it, and you might not make it. And I said to my dad, well, that depends on what making it is, Dad. He was a smart-ass kid.
Yeah.
It depends on what making it is, Dad. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, you're a teacher. I said, if I could make a teacher salary doing comedy, I think that's better than being a teacher. And he started laughing. He said, if you keep that attitude, I think you should go. He said, but name your price in the beginning. If it ever gets more expensive than the price you name, get out of there. Mm-hmm. Thus, Africa.
Dave Chappelle supposedly had it all. A $50 million contract from Comedy Central, a hit TV show. He decided, well, he really didn't want any of it.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million? Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy.
And so, people were saying, though, that you were on drugs, you lost your mind, you went into a mental institution. So did you go to a psychiatric hospital? Did your wife and children know where you were going?
No.
No, nobody knew.
No. I bounced.
Now, that sounds a little crazy.
It's not crazy. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
He walked away from $50 million, and even now there's still a lot of mystery about exactly why he left.
Only two people who know what happened are me and Dave, and we have a massive disagreement about it. We were the golden geese of Comedy Central. We were a license to print money for them. We were doing great, and then we renewed our contracts, which was extremely ugly. Comedy Central played Divide and Conquer. So what they did is they poisoned me within Dave's mind. They have to pay you. They don't want to have to pay me. It was let me be clear with this. It was the worst period of my life. I can't imagine a worse period. I think part of it was in him anyway, that he just resented the idea of being a team.
Really?
Yeah.
And where did you draw this conclusion from? Did you had a conversation with him about this?
Yes.
This is just, yeah? And what did he say?
We're not a fucking team.
Were they trying to control you? Because, you know, I read the Time Magazine article and they were quoted as saying you had extreme creative control and that you really ran your own show.
Yeah, okay, but Oprah, I did 2 very successful seasons before that. So why all of a sudden on the 3rd time am I in Africa by myself? Like, what's happening? Entertaining this crowd like this is the best shit ever. I mean, professionally, I could have never asked for anything more. And I sincerely, man, on behalf of everybody, thank you very much, man. Thank you.